So Ravens flock, we almost have breathing room. We really can't breathe just yet. Our backs are still against the wall firmly, but we almost are out of that corner. We are currently on a 3-game winning streak. It's another victory Monday. We got a very hard fought, ugly win against the Minnesota Vikings, which is not what I want to see right now. But at the end of the day, I'll still take it because a win is a win. Before I get into things that concern me, I wanted to start off with areas that I was excited about. Mainly the way the defense looked in this game. I don't think this is I really don't think this was an amazing game from the defense. I'm not sure if that's a hot take or not, but this version of the Ravens defense, this is really the best case scenario we could hope for at this point. I know many of us were hoping going into the season that, or anticipating that they would be an elite defense. That's obviously not the case. We're never going to be an elite defense under Zach Gore and John Harbaugh. It is what it is. But at the very least, like we were talking about during the bye week, if we could just get to a place of being average, that could still make a world of a difference. Because one thing you'll see with many average defenses is they are opportunistic. So even though they're not able to stop everybody and they may give up plays and points and all that, at the very least, they can create timely turnovers, which is what we did on several instances in this game, which was very exciting to see. Malachi Starks got his second interception of his career, second in the second game in a row. I'm very happy he didn't hurt himself on when he landed after that pick, because the way he was landing at first, I thought something bad was about to happen, but thankfully he's good from that, so it's fine. Mike Green and Travis Jones was creating some pressure. Travis Jones even got a sack, which was exciting. I don't want to get too hype on this game though, however, because of the fact that even though this Vikings offense has weapons in terms of Justin Jefferson, who is arguably the best receiver in football, or at the very least top two, as well as Jordan Addison and Aaron Jones and TJ Hawkinson. However, they are at a disadvantage with a guy at quarterback in JJ McCarthy, who is pretty much a rookie. It's his second year, but he didn't play last year, so it's pretty much a rookie quarterback and a so-so offensive line, and that could obviously hold you back from what you're capable of doing. But we still, for the most part, kept a lot of beat, really kept most of that in check. Surprisingly enough, a guy who I was not expecting to ball out was Naylor, or whatever his name was, on the Vikings. He had an excellent game. He, he was making he was making us look crazy. I was not expecting Naylor to put up 124 yards and a touchdown, but he did. Shout out to him. And you know what? I could live with that. That's still frustrating. However, I could definitely live with that, because at that point, it's basically a matter of they tried their hardest to take Justin Jefferson out of the game and said, "Hey, you got to beat us with somebody else." And like somebody else stepped up. It is what it is. But we were able to keep them in check and keep the game from getting out of control, because there were moments where I do feel like with a better quarterback, they very easily could have just put up at least 10 more points. But we were able to get out of here with a win. On the offensive side of the ball, very sloppy game as well, even sloppier than the defense. Really, we can't get anything going in the red zone, or really at all. It was difficult to get the ball moving, and it really just boils down to the offensive line. Like, these guys are, I'm running out of ways to describe how bad they are, but it's fine. Well, it's not fine, but it's pretty sad to see. But we all know that they're terrible at their jobs. From a play calling standpoint, I'm not a fan of lining Lamar up at running back and doing pitch passes, pitching the ball to him. I'm not excited about that, but it worked out really. But I really hope that's not something they plan on doing more. Just like how I don't like the Mark Andrews tush push, because we don't have good enough guards to make it worthwhile. But It's neither here nor there. It works for the most part, even though against better opponents and better defensive lines it fails. But whatever. As far as our pass catchers go, nobody really stood out a whole lot in this game. We struggled with drops early. Zay Flowers still finished with a pretty solid game. Mark Andrews got a touchdown as well. I was happy to see Charlie Kolar get involved to get that 23-yard catch and showing his yak ability, even though he's not like the fastest guy. Also, Derrick Henry didn't have a great game. He had an okay game. He's in a very tough spot where, again, they can't run the ball. Like, because the offensive line is so disgustingly bad, they really can't run like that. And for whatever reason, Todd Monken is still trying to run up the middle instead of trying to get Derek to run outside. On the bright side, though, Keaton Mitchell, he got a couple more snaps. We're all excited to see that. Also, Justice Hill was able to get involved a little bit. He got a catch, but he also got the 1-yard touchdown. One of our only 2 touchdowns for the game. What I don't like seeing is many Ravens fans are now almost shifting their opinion of Derrick Henry to where now they're acting like Derrick Henry is bad or washed and acting as if we should replace him with Keaton Mitchell as RB1, which is a terrible idea. Like, Keaton Mitchell is a great complementary piece. Same thing with Justice Hill. Like, these guys are good complementary pieces, but these guys are not better than Derrick Henry. It may feel like that at times because you're seeing him in small doses, but if you give Keaton 20 carries a game, like you're gonna start to see just how big of a gap there is between Derrick and the other 2 running backs. But still, there's still solid pieces on the team that we're all happy to see. They bring a change of pace, which was exciting. One thing I was shocked to see was Lamar Jackson actually got a flag. Like, he actually got a roughing the passer call, which is something we pretty much never see. We never see the referees actually make any calls when Lamar gets hit late. Even though when it comes to guys who flop a lot like Josh Allen, they literally throw the flag nonstop, or at least it seems like they do. But either way, not excited about what I saw offensively. However, this is a very good defense and one of the best defensive coordinators in football in Brian Flores, somebody who I would like to see take over as the head coach for the Ravens, but we'll see if that actually comes true. As far as players of the game on the offensive side of the ball, I don't think anybody stood out enough to bother talking about them being a player of the game. Honestly, I'm going to just say Tyler Loop is the player of the game, even though Tyler obviously plays special teams. But when our offense is struggling so badly to punch in touchdowns and you're putting our rookie kicker in a spot where he has to close the deal, I'm going to still just give him credit anyway as the offensive player of the game. Speaking of Tyler Loop, he went 4-5. He missed a 56-yarder, which would have been his career long, but I can't be mad at him for that. He's a rookie, and I don't want to see us put a rookie in that situation. This is something we experienced several years ago where our offense would stall out and we would just hope for or just rely on Justin Tucker to bail us out, which is something I don't want to see. But it is what it is. Either way, I think Tyler Loop, he did his best. And again, like I said in the summer, as long as Tyler could just be league average, we'll be fine. And that's what he's been. And so I'm perfectly happy with that. The defensive player of the game, I'm going to give it to Malachi Starks just because I think that pick that he got early in the game was extremely important. If he doesn't come up with that catch, and somehow, some way, Justin Jefferson makes that catch, because again, this is not an average receiver we're talking about. This is Justin Jefferson. He's made unbelievable catches before. So if he would have made that catch downfield, at that point, we were down 10-3. They would have been at the 22-yard line. and they probably would have scored knowing this defense. And once that happens, who knows how the rest of this game could have played out. So that play made a big difference and kept us in the game. Let me know, what were you excited about in this game? Are you excited at all, or are you just more so nervous about how flawed we looked